Hey guys, it's Caleb from Team 1365OD, Team PV2 from Wisconsin, and today I'm going to be looking over the RECF game manual. Now, I don't know what my team or club is going with yet. We have heard not much other than they're talking about it, so that sucks. But today we're looking at Pinnacle, aka it's Override. They just renamed it. Sorry if you hear my dogs in the background. They're um, doing their own thing. Eventually they'll quiet down. But let's start looking at this game manual, see what's different. Yeah, I've only had a real glance at the manual so far. Okay, 1.2, because 1.1 is just explaining our ACF. Okay, so let's read this. In Pinnacle, robots navigate a 12x12 field to collect and stack pins and cups onto goals, turn rollers. Oh, they call them rollers, not toggles. Interesting. Okay. Going back to spin up. And maximize their score with specific orientations of cups, pins, and rollers. Robots can push, lift, rotate, stack, spin, or plow pins and cups, but must follow the rules for each specific match type. Okay. In some matches, team members drive the robot, and others, the robot drives itself based on pre-programmed code, while ran by students. This is just explaining how. We'll just say Vex. And here is the field. Now, this is a little different from the override field. Let me pull up the override field. Okay, so here is the Vex override field, and here is what they're calling the Pinnacle field. We can see this is a little different here. So we do still have these, but instead of them being yellow on here, they're the team colors, which is interesting. And there are yellow pins in the middle, which there are no yellow pins in the middle. And also you'll notice that this is square. This isn't like a diamond on here, and it's not an X. So I'm really curious to see how the rollers work in here. And there's less of these yellow goals. There's only 3 neutral goals, and on here, well, there's quite a few. There's 5 neutral goals in override, and there's only 3 in Pinnacle. And as you can see, there's 2 alliance goals like in here, but it's different. The alliance goals are really close to each other on here, but on here they're right next to each other. And it looks like the match loads are a little different. I'm pretty sure, yeah, you only get 1 yellow match load in override, and here you get a ton of yellow match loads. And I think that's quite interesting because, and of course, these, I'm guessing, are the preloads, because you only get, this isn't even a, I'm pretty sure that's the preload, not a match load. So you get no yellow match loads, actually. But in here, you get 4 yellows in game, and then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yellows on the outside. And the other thing I find really interesting is that you get pin colors for the opposite alliance. So that's kind of interesting. Kind of makes you want to limit your match loading or be more strategic with your match loading. Or, and we might see this later, I haven't read this, like I said, there could be a minus zone. So that might be a reason why you want their color. But I don't think there's a minus zone. I really don't see anything here indicating that. So yeah, but this is quite different. So far, I kind of prefer overrides. Yes, it's a little crowded on overrides, but there's more scoring options. I'm guessing they might have a higher robot limit, and that's why there's only 1, 2, 3, 4. Only oh my gosh, sorry, I'm blanking right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 goals. Only 7 goals. That only leaves for about 7 pins for each. So that's considerably less than override has, but maybe there's a higher limit, but I don't know. There also appears to be no visible Anton line, unless these 2 lines are supposed to be Anton. They still look to have King of the Hill, of course, but they're also missing this line, which, like I said earlier, divides these into the different quadrants, which is really interesting. And there's less things on the floor. It looks like this is a very match load heavy version of Override. Override has quite a few different options here on starting, but here you only have, honestly, only a few. The robot that starts on this side is going to be very limited compared to the robot that starts on this side, because this side robot has access to these easily, and these easily. But the robot that starts here only really has easy access to here and here. So I don't really know how I feel about that. I think Override does a good job of giving enough field elements for both autonomouses for these guys. So I have a feeling only there's going to be fights for who gets autonomous here. Probably a strategic thing, I guess, going to the better team, but I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. Design and robot build. See section 2 using engineering design process. Solo driving matches. Okay. Up to 3 members of your team work together at the field. So just like Vex. Solo coding matches. Up to 3 members of your team work together at the field to score pins and robot while it's operating entirely. So this indicates that you can match load, I'm guessing, during autonomous. Because, yeah, that's another thing. I think a lot of these pins are going to be taken up during autonomous. Of course, that depends on how long autonomous is. Win point criteria. So we'll see that. Alliance matches. Your team collaborates with another team at the field using both the robots in an attempt to outscore. Okay, so this is just basic Vex rules, judging document. Okay, it's just this. Judging shouldn't be different for RECF as it was before because RECF took care of the judging. Okay, and then, we have some more things for the field. I don't know what this means. I'm guessing this is just showing where people stand, different scoring objects, of course. And then, okay. So this is like a neutral zone for autonomous. So anyone can drive here. Oh, that's interesting. Ooh, I don't know. Okay, so that's really weird. Does this mean red can start on either of these ends? Or do they have to start on one end? That's really weird. Or are robots going to start in the middle again like they did for pushback? I honestly don't see how this is going to work. Because here, you clearly know where you can start. One robot has to start here. One robot has to start over here. But with this, like, I don't know, because they're neutral. Interesting. And if you go in the neutral zone in your autonomous, you're risking hitting the other alliance's robots, screwing up your whole autonomous, of course, unless you have something that automatically knows where you are, corrects it. But that can still become faulty. So, interesting. We'll have to see how that pans out, because, yeah, interesting. Anyways, a cup, plastic 2-segment, of course. Oh, wow, that is, I think, more exact than the other game manual for Vex, for the Vex game manual. And then a goal, we all know this. Alliance goal, a red, tag 2, blue, tag 3. Okay. Center goal and neutral goal. Loader, we all know this. Okay, nested. Okay, let's see. A description. Dude, I like how Vex does. They're like SG2. You can cite them. You can't cite this. What, am I going to cite 1.5.2? I feel like that's harder to remember than just SG2. So, they should really update the names of all of these rules and everything. But loader, one of their structures. Okay, that's obviously we know what that is. Nested, description of the connection between a cup and a pin, or a pin and a goal in which a convex pin half fits securely inside of the opening on a goal, or one concave half a cup. A half pin can be nested in a cup or a goal. A cup can be nested onto a pin half. Okay. Pin. Okay. Pinnacle. What does this mean? A 2-object stack that consists of 1 pin nested to 1 cup. Okay, so a pinnacle is just what this is. One of these. That's a pinnacle. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know. I don't really get the point of that, but it's a stack. Okay. And then a roller, a complex structure mounted to the field perimeter. So they're calling them rollers here, not toggles. Interesting. And then a stack, a group of nested pins and cups supply a set of cups and pins that begin a match in the driver box. Okay, so they're not called match loads, they're called supply. Interesting. Zone, 5 defined areas. So there's 5 areas? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I guess. Interesting. Don't know how that's going to work out. 5 defined areas. Field neutral zones, 1 and 2, and center zone are collectively referred to as the neutral zone. Red zone. Wait, does this mean for toggles? This toggle means this entire zone. And then this toggle means this entire zone. And these 2 toggles just take care of 1 goal? Oh my gosh. Who's gonna... I don't know. That's weird. Because, like, here, like, these toggles are a lot. Like, this toggle takes care of 2 goals. This toggle takes care of 2 goals. Every toggle is for 2 goals, but these 2 are for 2 goals. And then these ones are just for 1 goal. So, interesting. But we'll see that later, of course. Red zone, blue zone, neutral zone. Okay. Fouls and penalties. Yellow card. Yo, guys, I think this is soccer. I'm a little confused here. Okay. So this is I'm pretty sure this is the same as regular Vex. Don't quote me if I'm wrong. Yellow card is given to an alliance or team member the second time they break a rule. Okay. And then a warning is first, then a yellow card, and then a red card is given to an alliance or team member. So the third time they break a rule after they've received a yellow card for breaking a specific rule. A team that receives a red card will earn 0 points for the current match. In an alliance match, a team does not receive the red card will receive the actual score of the match. Okay, so it's just a DQ. So they do have DQs. Grounded and DQ are different things. Okay. Fouls, effective legendary for alliance selection. Whoa. Any team that receives 3 or more red cards. Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be like, you get DQ'd once, you're done. Okay, so design, build, and code a robot. Teams design their own robots. Students, members get to decide what their robot looks like and what it does. Outside references are okay as starting points. Team can use someone else's design as a starting point, but should modify it to make their own. They should be able to explain their design process and original ideas when asked. Outside references should be appropriately created and described in team's engineering notebooks. Interesting. Okay, so that's just the same as it always is. Why did I say interesting? It's just normal. Okay, so basic requirements. This was all stuff we already knew. Okay, your robot must be safe. Can't damage the field or people or other robots, of course. Your robot must pass inspection. Power button must be easy to reach during the match. So does that mean if you have a machine that goes over it during a certain time, that's bad? Like if moving parts make it harder to get to? I mean, that could be an issue for like some teams, but I don't know. We'll see. Your robot can't have parts or mechanisms that intentionally detach during the match. Okay. Your robot can't be larger than 18 wide by 18 long by 18 tall at the start of a match. Your robot can't be larger than 24 wide by 24 long during the match. Okay, so same. There is no limit to how tall your robot can be during the match. Oh my gosh. So that is different. Honestly, that could change how I build my robot this year. Right now, we're working on a cascade. Now, obviously, to make a cascade taller, all you have to do is really just add another bar. But still, this is really big. This is going to make the CG talk even different. And this explains why there's so little goals. So this actually I actually am starting to grow on this field. I think it promotes offense. Now, yes, I love defense. I am a defensive driver. But this is pretty good because this means people are more inclined to go offense. Make your robots taller, better CG. So you might want to sacrifice some of your speed to use steel for your supports so you can, not tip. And this makes anti-tips a very big talking point because if you want to go really high, and also, like, another problem with this is that some schools may have hard times trying to make their robots taller and stuff because of ceilings, but I'm not really concerned with that. But right now, what I'm mainly talking about is, like, this is a pretty good rule. I think no limit to this is actually pretty good. I'm going to mark this. I like this. I actually like this. Is there a way I can, like, highlight this? Can I highlight? How do I highlight? I like this. No. Wait, is there an undo button? How do I undo that? Okay. There's no limit to how tall your robot can be during the match. I like that. That is nice. I do like that. Okay. You can only bring one robot to an event. Your robot can only include legal materials as listed above. Okay, now we're getting into the legal materials. Okay. Electronic components cannot be modified in any way other than labeling and or external decoration. So let's see what the decoration rules are. I'm actually pretty excited. Non-electronic parts may be modified. Ooh, wait. So you can modify pretty much anything that's not electronic? Pretty well. Okay. I know Vex has some limits on that. Okay. Required parts, the brain, controller, radio, obviously, battery, license plates. Wait, I want to see. Can we use custom license plates? Your robot must have exactly 2 license plates clearly displaying your registered RECF achieved team number mounted in 2 opposing visible locations on the robot. License plates cannot be larger than this. You may use VEX V5 competition license plates. AnyMark, FTC, Alliance, robot signs. Ooh. So you can use FTC signs too? Or are those the same thing? I don't know. Or create custom license plates using 3D printing or other means. License plates do not count towards your custom plastic maximum. I love that. Let's mother freaking go. That is amazing, guys. And I think we can all agree custom license plates are cool. And I also am thinking 3D printing is good. I used to have a pretty opposing view on 3D printing, but I honestly like 3D printing. I have a 3D printer that needs to get fixed. And TPU filament, if legal, I don't know if it's legal actually, is actually pretty good. And that could be used for aligners because it can like kind of bend a little. So that would be good for aligners. And I'm actually going to think I might use 3D printed TPU if it's legal, or just another 3D printed filament, and literally just get a mold of the goal so I can get the exact perfect shape, which you cannot do with plastic. Anyways, moving on. Up to a total of 99 watts worth of motors. Whoa! That's big. That's another 11 watts. I actually love this. More motor space means more room for other stuff. So this could lead to a complete redesign of my robot, by the way. I already needed to maybe make it a little wider, but this is actually pretty insane. You can now, assuming they don't have the 55 watt drive limit, you can not only make a 66 watt drivetrain, honestly, it shouldn't punish you too much, no? You get more wattage now. Now, yes, I honestly think this is pretty good. Motors up to a total of 99 watts is not bad. I like this. Anyways, sensors: a vision sensor, bumper sensor, distance sensor, GPS sensor, internal sensor, line tracker, limit switch, light sensor, optical sensor, rotation sensor, and vision sensor. Cables, of course. Pneumatics. Actually, let's see this. Commercially manufactured pneumatic components, including cylinders, actuators, valves, gauges, storage tanks, regulators, manifolds, and tubing. All components must be rated for 100 psi or larger. Pneumatic devices may only be charged to a maximum of 100 psi. Compressors or other forms of onboard charging are not permitted. Pneumatic components may not be modified from their original state, other than cutting, tubing, or wiring, like assembling components. Okay, so this means you can get third-party tanks, which is actually pretty good. I actually kind of like that. I actually like that. Anyways, V5 and IQ. Okay. All VEX V5 structural and mechanical parts are considered legal, including VEX V5, metal, C-channel, U-channel plates, angles, rails, tracks, gaskets, brackets, and shafts, wheels and tires, hardware and fasteners such as screws, nuts, bolts, washers, bearings, shaft couplers, standoffs, shaft inserts, Versa hex adapters and spacers, VEX plastic and metal gear sprockets, pinions, what the heck? Gear inserts, rack gears, bevel gears, worm gears, worm wheels, mounting brackets, lead screw nuts and segments, cam followers, and joints. V5 chain tread, tank tread links, conveyor belt inserts, and conveyor belt links, plastic shaft bearings, shaft collars, bearing flats, hex nut, retainers, shaft bearings. Okay. Flywheel weight and intake roller, claw kits, and chain. Oof. So basically, VEX. And then Robots by AndyMark. All Robots by AndyMark structural metal parts are considered legal, including Robots tubes, beams, gaskets, carriers, channel plates, aluminum sides, wheels and tires. Interesting. Hold up. Sorry, I'm a VEX guy. This is probably FTC and FRC stuff. Let's see. So you can use stuff made here. So you can use the wheels, right? Terminal gears and assemblies. It does not mention. Oh no, it doesn't mention wheel and tires. So let's see. Does he have better Omni wheels or something? He has pneumatics. This is interesting. FRC stuff. Okay, so this is definitely and FLL. Interesting. So this is definitely for not VEX originally, but now it's going to be used for, well, not VEX but RECF, but we all know that's really not much of a difference, at least for right now this season. let's see. Let's see if wheels. So we got some grip wheels. We have some mechanism wheels. What about Omni wheels? Any Omni wheels? And how small do they get? Pneumatic wheel kit. Interesting. Okay. Dura Omni wheel. And then Dura plastic Omni wheels. Okay, so they do have Omni wheels. I wonder if these are better than Vex Omni wheels. I don't know. I don't know anything about this guy. This store. So maybe if my club goes with RECF, we'll look at this instead of actual Vex stuff. But this is actually interesting. This is actually kind of cool. We have options, but this is leaning towards FTC. This is the thing I wanted to say I didn't like, is how it's leaning towards FTC. I want it to be more in line with like how Vex is, but it does require Vex brains and electronics and stuff, so it's not exactly like FTC. So it's kind of like a hybrid, which is a little interesting. And then another store. Oh my gosh. Okay. All Pisco installation structure and mechanical parts are considered legal, including bars, angle plates, brackets, rails, wheels and tires, hardware, fasteners and screws, all the good stuff. And then let's look up this store. I'm guessing another store that FRC and FTC uses. Interesting. This is definitely harder to navigate. I do not want to give my location. Okay, so they also have wheels and stuff. Okay, interesting. Okay, let's move on. Any source commercially available fastening screw hardware, of course. Some product kits from Roberts by Indian Mark and Pisco include prohibited electronic parts, including motors, servos, controllers, cables, batteries, sensors, etc. Please take this into account when making purchasing decisions for your robot build. If you are unaware whether a part is prohibited, please submit a question to the official RECF Achieve Q&A system. Interesting. Okay. If you are utilizing pre-designed robot system kits, such as a chassis, lift kit, launcher, expansion kit, you must appropriately document and credit that part and your robot and modify it to make it your own in some capacity. Please note that not every part will be compatible with other parts when combining robotic systems. Okay, now we're at custom plastic. Let's see how this goes, because 3D printing is allowed. Okay. Up to 12 individual custom plastic pieces, which can be a combination of 2 styles. Okay, so it's still the limit of 12, but let's see what the limits are. So custom plastic. Flat cut. Piece up to 4 by 12 in size, cut from certain types of non-shattering plastic, up to 0.07 thick. So that's actually bigger. Vex limited by 0.8. They're limiting it by 4. So that is definitely different. And then 3D printed piece, 3 inches by 5 inches by 2 inches in size, printed from certain types of plastic filament. Flat cut plastic. Okay, so that's the limit. 3D printing requirements. So you can use TPU. So you could make a pretty good aligner with TPU. TPU is very durable. I will have you guys know. Also, I think that this 12 means both. Because it says a combination, so keep that in mind. I would kind of prefer if it was more than 12, but you get what you get, you get what you get. So, and it does appear PLA, ABS, TPU, and PETG. TPU, I know, is used in, I can't remember what it's called. I'll put a picture on screen if I remember. It's used by BattleBots, I know, because it's known as, like, one of the most durable ones. So I think if our team goes RECF, I'm definitely gonna I literally have pink don't ask why I got pink. It's the only color that was in stock when I was buying TPU. I haven't used it at all yet because my 3D printer broke before I got the option to use it. If any of you know how to fix a 3D printer, message me, please. Okay. But anyways, custom plastic parts must be designed or customized by student team members, but can be manufactured by an outside entity. Send, cut, send. So I'm pretty sure that they do 3D printed stuff. Please document your use of custom plastic in your engineering notebook, of course. Decorations, including 3D printed decorations, are permitted as long as they have no function and do not affect other robot. 3D printed decorations, except license plates, count towards your custom plastic total. Wait. 3D printed. except license plates. So you can 3D print your license plates, but it will not count towards your plastic total. Okay. So if your whole 3D, so I'm guessing that means if your whole, sorry, I'm trying to get words out. I'm guessing if your whole license plate is 3D printed, it doesn't count to your total. I'm hoping and imagining. Anyways, misc, any rubber bands 8 inches long, hot glue, secure cables, plastic zip ties. It looks like this is the same. Amount of rope, no thicker than that. Or unlimited. Commercially available products designed for building, wrapping cables. Yeah, sounds about right. Yup. 1 micro SD card. Yep, this looks all about the same. Disallowed items. Let's go. Any electronic components from a system other than VEX V5, including motors, servos, controllers, cables, sensors. So you can't have outside sensors. No OP odometry like what Platteville has. Let me find the video about Platteville. That right there, that little sensor down there, that is like the same thing that's in a mouse. Basically makes really OP odometry. But it seems you cannot do that even in high school in here. I will not be reading through the college game manual today, by the way, because that doesn't really apply to most people and me. Anyways, any structural/mechanical parts from system other than the 2 stores already mentioned, unless listed in Rule 2.2.4. Please rename these rules. RECF, I can't, dude. The numbers only, it's not easy to remember. It's not catchy. Anyways, anything that compromises the safety of people other than robots, the field, or game pieces. Okay. Students create their own code. These are coding rules. So, I'm just talking about libraries. So nothing new. Here we go. Pinnacle solo driving matches. Let's see how these rules correlate to the overall game. I'm pretty excited for this, actually. So it looks like in here they start by their match loaders. So I know there was that little box in Override. So I'm guessing these boxes are in here in the actual Pinnacle game. It looks like you need to start in these boxes in Pinnacle, which is interesting. They actually have a use. I don't remember what the use for these boxes are in Override. I'm pretty sure it's something to do with the match loading rules. Anyways, in Pinnacle solo driving matches, students, drive teams have 60 seconds to score as many points as possible, while the operating robot with a remote controller. Solo matches aren't pre-scheduled. The field setup is shown. Okay. Then there's your starting area, which honestly, interesting. It's kind of gives the pushback vibe. But the other thing is, I'm guessing it fits in there because I'm guessing these are bigger zones than that's shown here. I'm guessing this is an 18 by 18 zone. But the real concern is like there's not much room here, you know? There's not much. So we'll see how that goes overall. But let's keep going down. And then we got this. We got field setup guide. This one comes preloaded. So it looks like it's the only one that comes preloaded. And oh, there's a cup here. I didn't even notice. There is a few cups. Wow, so only a few cups start off the bat. And these, okay, so I really don't understand why people score these because they give both teams a point, so I don't really see, other than trying to get the win point, I don't see why you would score these. These are only good for getting the win point. That is it. That's all they're good for. Unless you strategically put a cup on them. But yeah, I don't really see teams going for these unless it's for what I just said. I think it's gonna be a big match loading season. I will say, definitely a match loading season. But also it's gonna be really hard for. This reminds me, a lot of teams will just make claws for autonomous because it's way easier to get the win point if you're just grabbing these. Way easier to get the win point than if you're just, trying to go for it with like an intake. But now you need an intake unless the criteria has changed, you need an intake. Or unless you can, of course, match load during autonomous. But let's keep reading. Cups of pins must be nested. Okay, we already went over this. Scored cup on any goal earns 1 point. Scored red half pin on red or neutral goal. Each visible red half pin that is scored on a red or neutral goal earns 5 points. Each visible blue half pin that is scored on a blue or neutral goal. Oh, so this means if you score this on your goal, it doesn't count the other line's points. I'm guessing that is what it means. It doesn't count. So if you're blue, you pick up this one with the red and blue. You score this, it's guaranteed only for blue, which means you don't have to worry about this red pin being here because it automatically just goes blue. Interesting. So I think that'll bring some interesting strategy to where you're going to pick up these ones with the red instead of these ones with the blue if you want to do this. And why these exist. I think teams are going to go for these match loads more. These are going to be the match loads that are used instantly because you can put them on there. Actually, I don't really see a point for this. Don't do that. Go for the blue first. Why am I saying this? What I mean is, go for these. Go for these. If you're mainly going for toggles, go for the other alliance color so you can limit the points they can get. You limit the points they can get, you up the points you can get because these, like, you put a red on a blue, the red cancels out. It's gone. But you can still get that yellow on the rollers. So that is pretty interesting. Second yellow half pin on a red goal or neutral goal. Each yellow half pin and scoring a red and neutral goal. Oh, so if you score a yellow pin on a red or neutral goal, it's 5 points automatically before roller. Interesting. Only if the roller. Oh, it's only if it's set to red. So the rollers just make yellows worth something. They don't make them worth more. I don't like that. I like. Oh wait, sorry. Scored half pin of any color on the center goal. Each visible half pin that is scored on the center goal earns 10 points. Oh, that is gonna be an issue. There's gonna be teams fighting for that, and I think that it's gonna be mainly teams trying to score on that middle goal because you want those 10 points. I think the main auto strategy could be instantly going for that center goal. Because then other teams probably going to accidentally knock it over and maybe get a violation, which I don't see if that was a violation. Honestly, I didn't see it in the rules, so maybe descoring is allowed. Anyway, scored cup. 1 point per cup. So if you just have a cup, it's 1 point. Interesting. Scored red or blue half pin in a color matching or neutral goal. 5 points. Scored yellow half pin on a red or neutral goal with roller set to red. And it's the same here, 5. And then any scored half pin on the center goal is 10. Interesting. Okay, blue with the roller set to yellow or red. 6 cups, 1 point each, 6. 3 blue half pins at 5 points. Oh my gosh, this is confusing. This is going to make trying to score during the match with your team so much harder because now you have to count every cup and pin and color and roller. It's awful. Total score for this is 21. Yep, 1 for each cup, and then yeah, because the roller zone isn't set to 0, yellow half pins are worth 0. Okay. The robot must begin in the match within the 18 by 18 by 18 starting zone limit in contact with one of the 2 red loaders. Interesting. I feel like they should just say color loaders. It really doesn't make sense. And not in contact with any pins or cups other than the preload pin. Interesting. Okay. Preload pin. A robot must start the match in contact with 1 yellow/red pin. Okay. Eye protection, of course. The robot can only operate while the match timer is counting down. The robot can only carry 1 pin, 1 cup, and 1 stack at a time. We can carry up to 1 unstacked pin, 1 unstacked cup, and 1 stack of any height at any time. Okay, so everything up here was just what we already know. Honestly, this all looks like stuff we already know. So, let's see. Solo coding matches, no driving the robot. Is that the only rule? Oh, that's the only rule. Okay. Allied match scoring. To count as scored, a pin must be nested. So this is just reiterating what we already know? Isn't this what was already said? I am a little confused. Scoring on neutral goals. A little confused. Parked robot. Each robot in contact with one of their alliance loaders at the end of the match earns 21 points. What? That is cartoonish amounts of points. What's the auto bonus? Am I missing something? Was this all supposed to be auto rules? This is cartoonish. Each robot in contact with one of their alliance's loaders at the end of the match earns 21 points with a maximum of 1 robot per loader. So you could get like 42 points by just not moving. So if you don't move, you get, as a push bot, score 42 points. They just ruined the whole thing. Get rid of that. Or make it like 5, 10 points, not 21. That is a cartoonish amount of points. Yeah, this is just... So all you have to do is not move, and you get 21 points. All I have to do is drive, back up, boom, wait there. 21 points for free. That's ridiculous. That is cartoonish amounts of points. Robots in the neutral zone give up some protection during the autonomous period. Robots in the neutral zone are likely to encounter other robots in the neutral zone unless the head referee decides that the entanglement, tipping, or trampling insertion was intentional. How the heck how do you intentionally knock someone over in autonomous? Or strategic, most interactions won't result in fouls. Fouls are handled differently. If a team breaks a rule during the autonomous period of the match, they can't receive autonomous ranking point. Fouls that occur during the autonomous period are only recorded and tracked if they are related to the RECF code of conduct. Goals in the neutral zone are not protected. Both alliances can add and remove cups, pinnacles, or stacks on... Oh, no. This makes... Okay. I'd like to add something. If a team has a ton, I don't think... I'm projecting Worlds won't have basically anyone scoring on this neutral goal. That these two neutral goals, only alliance and center. Because if a team scores a good amount, if you have a vertical or horizontal claw, if you just have a claw, just grab from the bottom, go up, back up, drop. Boom, like Legos. You lost all your points. That is going to definitely add some more strategy and defense, and I kind of like that. So, and it's protecting your alliance goals, so that's good. Let's see where, and it's with no limitations. No limitations. Look, no limitations at all. Interesting. And that includes center. Alliance colored goals are protected. So, yeah, of course. Interactions with opponent robots are limited. Teams may not use their robot in ways that prevent other robots from playing the game or for extended periods of time. Teams have limited defensive driving maneuvers, but can only limit the actions of an opponent robot. Trap, hold, lift for a count of 4. The count will pause on a trapped robot as an avenue of escape, or 2 robots have separated. Of course. Robots can't use game objects to break rules. Teams can't use cup pin stacks of any part of the field to indirectly break the game or robot. Okay, so this is just about the same. Here we go. Ranking points. It's perfect. So, autonomous ranking point. Each alliance can earn 1 ranking point for each ending the autonomous period of the alliance match. With the following test completed, at least 3 cups and 4 half pins scored across at least 2 goals. Oh, yeah, that you can solo that for sure. If they allow soloing. It's going to be kind of weird if you're trying to intake at the same time. But if we're thinking about this, at least 4 cups and 4 half pins scored. All you really have to do is get a clear on, put a clear on a clear, 2, and then just move to the other one, and then you're good. Honestly, and if you have 2 teams, all you have to do, that's a pretty easy win point. I'm gonna be honest. That's pretty easy. Oh, and Alliance Zone Roller showing the matching alliance color. Oh, yeah, that is really easy. With these passive mechs, just run into it, go, and then just score. That 15 seconds, you're definitely getting that stuff done. In Vex, I don't even know if full teams will be able to get that done, but here, definitely. Earn 1 ranking point for ending an alliance match with all the following tasks completed. Wait, what is... You can get an endgame ranking point. So there's more? Oh. Scoring a stack that has at least 5 scored visible half pins of their alliance color. At least 1 roller showing their alliance color. At least 1 robot in contact with an alliance loader. Okay. So you need that 21 points for the win point. So I think that's not going to be too big of an issue. Just stack some on your alliance goal, honestly. Not that big of an issue. Just make sure the red portion of your pin is in your cup. Honestly, it's going to be better to score your colored pins than your yellow pins this season. Unless... Actually, no. Just flip the yellow ones. Why do you need yellow pins? Yellow pins actually are worth something in override. Here, they're just kind of like an annoyance. But, win points. Alliances earn 2 win points for ending an alliance match with the highest score. Okay. So, you get 2 automatically for winning, and alliances earn 1 win point for ending an alliance match with a tied score. Okay. Judging and awards. Engineering notebooks, of course. Award, of course, we all know this, is about the same as it has been. Team check-in, robot inspection, queuing, all this should be the same. Pinnacle is played, blah, blah, blah. This looks about the same. And this is a display of the field. Pretty simple. I'm guessing when they say there's a zone here, they mean in this square touching the loader. I don't know. And why do the toggles look like that? They kind of look off. Are they square? This might be a really bad angle, but they look really bad compared to the Vex ones that are like clear triangles. Don't know what's going on there. And then of course we already know that. Practice matches, alliance selection, number of teams at the event, less than 18. Oh, it's just talking about alliance selection. Okay. And then this, and then that, and that's it. So that is the RECF Achieve notebook. Now, overall, I think it does have some things on Vex, for sure. I kind of like the field more. As long as they keep the no robot limit height, I like the field more. But with Vex's autonomous rules, I do like Vex's field. It's honestly a mix. I'm kind of torn. Honestly, I don't hate it. I thought I'd hate RECF. I'm going to be honest. I had a little bias, but honestly, I don't hate it. And the no height limit should be in Vex too, but obviously that's not going to happen. But overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this little rundown. Pretty good things in here, honestly. It's not bad. I like it. There's some things Vex has better, but yeah. I don't think you have a reason to complain if your club goes RECF or Vex. Both have their pros and their cons. Overall, I don't really care. I do really like 3D printing, though, so maybe that's an up for RECF. Honestly, for me, it mainly depends on where the majority goes, in my opinion. If more people are going with Vex, I would rather go that way. If more people are going RECF, I'd rather go that way. And whoever has like RECF definitely has worlds. Vex doesn't definitely have worlds. So we don't know all that. But I will say, I like this so far. And I wish robot events would be freed. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all, hopefully with a week 1 of our robot build. Hopefully. Our club has yet to let us in our kits yet for some reason that, my team says we have no real reason. I'm not going to say anything on it because I don't feel like getting anyone mad at me if they watch this. But, yeah. Overall, I like 3D printing. I like a lot of the rules in here. I think they're pretty cool. Pros and cons overall. But, yeah. Hope you enjoyed it, and bye.